Hello, punters, and welcome to our Melbourne Cup preview. We are very excited. Melbourne Cup Eve here at the Leg Up. This is brought to you by the Sporting News and the good folk over at Dabble. Sam Wood, Blake Johnson, Nick Lloyd. Gentlemen, welcome. Are we pumped?
I'm pumped. I'm always pumped around Melbourne Cup time. It is actually like me waking up Christmas Day. There's no other time of year that I wake up and I'm just Melbourne Cup.
You actually haven't wavered. We've spoken about this the last couple of weeks, like the excitement of Everest, the excitement of, what the Sydney Carnival's taking away from the Melbourne Carnival, and you haven't wavered.
It's not the same. It's not the same. This race is special. This race is special for the punters. There's no other race that all of Australia, anybody who doesn't even care about racing, they're all asking about who's going to win the Melbourne Cup. You get a coffee, they want to ask who's going to win the Melbourne Cup, etc., etc. My wife's boss asked who's.
Do they come out of the woodwork for you? They come out of the woodwork. As you do it professionally, they would definitely. Oh, Blake, what do you like in the cup?
Oh, I haven't tipped them a winner in the last couple of years, but
they stopped asking.
No. They still ask. They still want They still want the mail.
Now, Nick, famously, you have your Cup Eve dream. Mm-hmm. How's that worked in the past? Just explain to the listeners.
Yep, so Vauban and Declare in 2019 got the job done.
Vauban and Declare and it won.
Dreamt that he won on the Monday night, and last year Gold Trip got the job done. So I'm looking forward to getting to sleep tonight. I'm sleeping here in the office. So
Are you sleeping here in the office tonight?
I'm staying down. So this couch, hopefully I have the lucid dream on the couch, and I might I'll update.
As long as it's only a lucid dream on the couch, please. We've got to sit on that tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. But I'll let the punters know what the dream is, because the strike rate's running hot. But I do have to apologise. I'm not very prepared for this. I thought this was a big dance runner by runner preview.
I did see that in the newspaper. They had the what do they call it?
The sweep.
The sweep.
In the
big
paper
dance
in
sweep.
Sydney. Big dance.
Don't even look at your big dance form. What it goes is going to win it. Let's get into this. I'll tell you the top 5 currently in the market, where they open. There hasn't been a lot of movement, obviously. Markets were kind of only squared away Saturday night when the barrier draw was finalised. Vauban 440 out to 460 without a fight 650. Sitting pretty, did touch 7. Gold Trip is probably the biggest one in regards to the drift, 480 out to $7. Socum, 9 out to 10s, and Absurde 9 out to 10s as well. Did touch 11 and 12s. But we were talking just before, that's the one that they've really had a go at in regards to, what was the best price available? A week ago, about $28, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think about $26 final field on Saturday afternoon. Obviously, he drew barrier 8, and the booking of Zach Purdon, I think a few people probably like. So, he's been a really solid go since Saturday night. So, interested to see what Blake thinks about his chances.
I'm really interested to see what both of you think of it, because I like him.
You like him?
Well, I saw Frankie's out here. Frankie was supposed to ride him, wasn't he?
Yeah,
but he's suspended.
That's right, yes.
He got suspended for...
So he's still out here, though. He's probably got, media gigs and things like that. Frankie Dettori would
probably got a
obviously.
House in Brighton.
He'd have houses everywhere.
Flying.
The flying dismount.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Well done. That was good. We won't be seeing it this year, unfortunately, but I'm sure... I think a better jockey's on Absurde.
Well, he hung up the boots, Frankie, but he hasn't actually hung up the boots, so we might see it back. Who knows?
You heard that he's thinking about recalling his retirement.
Well, he has.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Has
Definitely, 100%.
Oh, right,
He's riding in America next year.
Wowee. The final tour just continues.
Yep.
Reminds me of someone.
Keep it up for another year.
All right, boys, we can't muck around because we've got plenty of runners here. We're going to start with Vauban. As I said, it's currently $4.60 with Dabble. Thoughts?
He's going to be very, very hard to beat, Vauban. Obviously, the race favourite. Drawn barrier 3, so he'll go forward. I've gone a little bit cold on him, I'll admit. I was sort of keen to... not keen, but I was scared of him. I'm not as scared of him anymore, because just watching a few of his replays, I think he likes to get it all his own way out in front and then give a good strong kick and get away from him. I don't think he's going to be able to do that here. There's a bit more pace. Serpentine from barrier 1. Lastotchka's going to cross from the wide draw. There's a bit more tempo here, so we'll see. He might just be way too good, and he could be a flat track bully, and if it gets to a good 3, that's probably going to suit him. But I think he'll get out. The market will tell the tale late.
Speed's Fast tempo suits this horse?
I don't think so.
Doesn't?
No.
And we're going to probably see that tempo on.
Yeah, I think he
early
just wants a nice, soft, controlled lead, get it all his own way, and then skip clear on the turn. But I don't think that'll happen.
Well, it's definitely not going to happen. But Willie Mullins has said that this is the best horse he's ever brought out, and he's run second in the Cup before. He's run third in the Cup before. So no knock. Whether or not he's short enough in the market, I think so. Is he a winning hope? Yeah, I definitely think he's a winning hope. But do I want to have my hard-earned cash on him? Probably not, but I think he can win.
It seems short. You know, there's a pretty stark history of favourites winning the Cup at $4.60.
Well, I'm interested to see what the market does with him tomorrow.
Do you think
basically,
spit him out?
Sorry?
Do you think
it won't spit him out? No? It's not going to spit him out. He'll probably start. He'll either start favourite or second favourite. I don't see any other horse or challenging him for that. So I think he starts. I think he'll start at least with a 5 or a 6 in front of him.
So
okay.
If you're listening to this on
say
Monday night, probably wait and back him in the half hour before the race, maybe.
I don't know about the World Tote. I don't know. I'll be interested to see what.
Is it in play?
I think so.
Okay.
Group 1s.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't there for Sydney and the Golden Eagle.
No, it wasn't.
Without a fight, $6.50.
Yeah, I'll pick up without a fight. I think he's the one to beat. He's my top tip. I was against him in the Caulfield Cup, and he proved me wrong. He came through a very slowly run race first up. I think he was about 105 days between runs. And then he had 28 days into a Caulfield Cup that was potentially going to be very fast run. So that was my knock on him in the Caulfield Cup. So he's gone to a Caulfield Cup second up. He's lapped up that fast tempo. He's made a long sustained run, and he was too strong late. So I have no doubt that the 3,200 metres is not going to be a problem. I can only see him improving on what he did there. Zahra gets off Gold Trip to ride without a fight. Draw, it's a little bit sticky, but there's plenty of speed engaged here. So he's going to go back. He'll find a 3 wide with cover line, and Zahra gave Gold Trip a peach last year, and I think he'll give this horse a peach this year. I think he's the one to beat, and I do think he's the one that starts favourite tomorrow.
Nick, do you think he's peaked on his effort? Do you think he can go that next level with the extra weight as well?
I think he can go the next level, no worries, because he's only third up on Tuesday in the Cup. So you would have to think there's improvement there. What is he, just over 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks between runs, that fast race in the Caulfield Cup. So a nice gap between now. He should be fresh and ready to go. So he's going to be ultra hard to beat. The 1 kilo weight swing on horses like horses like Gold Trip, Socum, Breakup, etc. They get a 1 kilo advantage on him now out of the Caulfield Cup. So be interesting to see if that plays dividends. I've got him in the numbers. I don't have him on top, but
do you think the weight is? Do you think the weight is enough for those that finish behind him in the Caulfield Cup to turn the margin on him?
Not for the most of them.
Okay.
There's only one horse that I think can turn the margin on him, and that's probably the next horse we talk about.
Do you want to get on to Gold Trip? Currently $7.
Yeah, he's on top for me, Gold Trip. Last year's winner. We haven't had a back-to-back winner since the great mare, Makybe Diva, did it in 2005 when she won 3 in a row. But I just think this is the sort of horse that can do it. He absolutely bolted in last year when he won it. He's got to carry a kilo more, and he had a soft 7, which that was more to his liking this time 12 months ago. But from barrier 2, he is just going to get the perfect run. He's not going to have to spend a penny early on, conserve all that energy under the big weight, and now he gets that kilo off without a fight, which I think can make a difference, because in that Caulfield Cup, he had to do a bit of work, and then he travelled into it and then had to pick himself back up. And Mark Zahra knew exactly what Gold Trip had underneath him when he came up around him on without a fight, and just sort of said, you stay in there. I'm not letting you get clear air yet, and I'm going to sprint better than you are. So I think now at the 2 mile from barrier 2, well, without a fight's going to, I think, be behind Gold Trip in the run from that wide draw. I think Gold Trip is the horse to beat again.
Wow, the big weight. I think I was reading today. I don't think
Makybe Diva, the last horse to carry I think 58 kilos or more. So it's a lot of history that's got to be repeated.
With lightweight hopes as well, and not kind of getting that track. I'm actually surprised so many people are so bullish on Gold Trip.
I'm the whole dry track thing as well. I think that's a complete myth for him now, because he had feet issues. We've got to remember going into the race last year, and they were all, they were worried about how firm the track was. Yeah. They reckon that his feet issues are sorted now, so I'm not worried about it going into it. The Cox Plate last start, that was a dry track, and even when he won the Turnbull at Flemington,
what was that?
Was on a good four there. So
that was a good four.
And he brained them at there. So I'm really happy to be with him.
Like Gold Trip in the numbers?
He'll be in the wider first fours. I want to be slightly against him. I just think he's too short in the market. I think Without a Fight was going away from him in that Caulfield Cup. I don't think the 1 kilo weight swing is enough to turn the tables. I actually don't think he'll land that close to the lead speed, because there's just so much speed drawn outside him, and James would have to be very positive on him at the start to find a spot. There's just going to be so many horses wanting to cross him early. So I don't know where he ends up. He's going to be in traffic with a big weight. He's going to have to navigate past horses, so he's not going to want to interrupted run. And I think it's a completely different setup to last year. I know if you just look at it on paper, it's the exact same setup: Turnbull, Caulfield Cup, Cox Plate, Melbourne Cup on the Tuesday. But it's completely set up because it's completely different setup, because the team don't have control over the tempo of the races. So last year in the Caulfield Cup was a very slowly run Caulfield Cup. He went into an evenly run Cox Plate, and then he won the Melbourne Cup. This year, he's gone brutally run Turnbull Stakes, brutally run Caulfield Cup, brutally run Cox Plate into the Melbourne Cup, and that's not ideal for me.
Can you just grab that roll of toilet paper so I can wipe all of Blake's shit off me that he just shit on me from above?
Slung on you.
There's no, my knock is on the setup. Yeah. We're different people.
We are. Oh, yeah.
And I might be completely wrong. He might explode off it.
He could.
Who knows? But I'd prefer him. If that Cox Plate was a slowly run Cox Plate and he hit the line like he did, I'd be like, that's a nice setup for him. But it wasn't.
So let me just write this down. Nick Gold Trip on top. Blake Gold Trip cooked. Okay.
Could have egg on our face, on my face, and I won't even need to cook it because it already is cooked.
Yeah, you've been cooked. Socum, we mentioned it earlier. We've actually put a couple of stories out today, and we've had a lot of feedback. There is support for this horse. Currently $10. Who kicks us off?
I can.
Yeah.
I don't think he's in the same class as Without a Fight. If you go back, I think it might be 3 runs for Socum behind Alligator Blood in that slowly run race. I know that this horse beat Without a Fight home, but Without a Fight was luckless, and with any given luck, he would have got over the top of this horse. And that was a slowly run race, and that reduces the margins between class horses. And then he's put a gap in him in a Caulfield Cup Without a Fight. I know that Socum was slow to begin and hit the line nicely, and it was a good Melbourne Cup trial, but I just don't think he has the class to beat Without a Fight at their best.
Yeah, I couldn't possibly get near him, really. He just bombs the start. He missed the kick by 6 lengths. And, like the eyes guys in the Caulfield Cup, they'll see that he hit the line nicely, and maybe you want to say, if he didn't miss the start by 6 lengths, he wins because he was beaten less than 6 lengths. But on the corner, he was on the back of Without a Fight and Gold Trip, and they dropped him. They got away from him so easily. I think he would be much better suited to the benchmark 55, 2200 at the Sunshine Coast tomorrow than the Melbourne Cup.
He is using a lot of those fuel tickets to kind of get himself back into the race.
Bombs the start from barrier 4. He could be 40 lengths off the leader at one point.
It'll just close around him, won't it?
Yeah, he's the sort of horse that if he wins, you go, all right, 12 months ago when he came out here and won the Queen Elizabeth on the Saturday on Cup Week, and he was the Melbourne Cup favourite 12 months out, you can sort of go, all right, well, that's the horse that's showed up here today. Fair play, Chris Waller, master trainer. But I won't be winning if he wins.
And Joe will help.
Yeah, I think Joe will help. And personally, I'm going to have Socum in the numbers. But like I said, we had a lot of people reaching out talking about Socum and that'll change. It'll be the magic man. He's not the miracle man. He's not going to have a lot of time to work with this horse, if any. Like, they're not going to take it to the...
He doesn't need it.
He's just going to... what, you think he's going to...
I heard him speak
this
on...
horse has bombed the start the last 3 goes.
I heard him speak on Thoroughbred Weekly ones, and he was just like, he'll watch replays and he'll give him a rev up when he gets him onto the track, and he knows, like, how to turn horses like this horse around straight away. So
he ain't got a lot of time to do it.
He's a miracle man.
He is the miracle man.
Miracle man.
He's changed it. Magic man, miracle man. I think Absurde is next in the market. $10 quote as well with double right now. Tell me about... I personally really like this horse. Please, talk me... give me some confidence.
He's a really, really interesting runner. And I'm not sure exactly how to... I mean, you can line him up through the favourite, but then you can also line him through more Fallons and whatnot. So he ran second to Vauban in the... or Voban, however you want to say it, in the Copper Horse Handicap at Royal Ascot. That was the race that Voban won by 7.5 lengths. Absolutely bolted in. Absurde got a long way back. He was all cluttered up. And then when he got out, he did his best work late through the line and he charged into second. Then he went to York and he won the Ebor, which is one of the most famous handicaps in the world. It's a terrific Melbourne Cup lead-up. There's never been a horse to do the double, win the Ebor and win the Melbourne Cup.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, but horses have run well. So Heartbreak City...
it's always good form seeing Ebor in there.
Yeah, correct. So Heartbreak City ran second a couple of years ago. Joe Moreira rode that. That was 2017. But this horse was wide, no cover in the Ebor, over a mile and a half.
16 or something
like that. So he was wide, no cover, and he was still able to win. And usually over here we'd say, wide, no cover, he's had to do that extra work. But the outside fence is where they came to in the straight. So that actually meant that he was the first horse to get to that better ground out on the outside running.
Oh, because he ran wide too. Because he came from like wide gate 2. I think he was like gate, might have been gate 22 of 22.
So he and another horse stayed right out wide on the track for like down the back. Then before they got to the first turn, they came over, joined the pack. They were happy to sit 3 wide. I'm not sure who rode Absurde there. Might have been Frankie actually, but then so in the straight he came to that outside fence. More Fallons was
he did
in thereabouts. I think you'll be hard to beat because you've got to respect the stable, you've got to respect the jockey, draws well, in with a nice enough weight and brings that Ebor form. So maybe there shouldn't be that much of a gap between Voban and Absurde, but
I didn't get the juicy odds because I was only kind of getting my head around the Cup last night, big weekend.
Just wait. He's too short.
I think he'll get back out. Yeah,
I reckon he's too
just
short.
wait. Okay.
Yeah, because
I've been throwing everything into it. Just
I think
bets today into it just to try and get those odds again.
Well, no. Just
I think you'll get like $18 again.
Okay, here's mine. Obviously, I'm not as analytic as you guys, but I just thought the Ebor absolutely came from gate 22, carried I think 60.5 in that. It's a big race with a lot of horses, and for a back marker to kind of navigate a lot of horses, I think that's really good form going to a 3,200 metre race with 26 horses in it.
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why the Ebor holds up here, because like a lot of the European stages that come out here and fail come through small fields. They got the best form, but then they get into a big handicap and it's much different. So that's a tick for him. But prior, he was held up, but I don't think his work through the line was better than Vauban, who'd done the work on the speed. So I think he was entitled to shave that margin a little bit more. So I think the favourite is a much superior animal to this bloke. And I think this guy's got to get back out in the market.
Zach Purton, another tick.
Zach's a superstar.
Absolutely.
Zach, I think, has run third and run fourth in the Cup before. Ran third on a Willie Mullins runner, Max Dynamite, in 2015, and fourth on Finch a couple of years later. So he'll be looking to go 1 or 2 better.
Next in the market is Lastochka, $18.
Yeah, interesting German mare. She's very tiny. She's a pony. She's 404 kilos. So,
Shivers.
So she is a very...
Two of me.
Yeah, I think I think the only other cup runner that I can remember being that small, I think, was a horse called Midas Touch that Lloyd Williams brought out here probably a decade ago, and it got beat a fair way. But instructions from Mick Price to Craig Williams have been pretty clear that you've got 51 kilos on your back, you've drawn wide, you go forward and you use that lightweight to an advantage. So she'll stay. That's no worries.
Yeah, look at this form. She'll stay all day.
She'll definitely stay. And you can tie the form in. So one of the horses that she beat, I forget its name, but it then went and ran second to Trushan, and Trushan is probably the highest rated stayer on the planet. At least he was in his prime. So you've got to be able to tie that form in here. So she's a live hope. She's in trifectas, first fours for me.
Yeah, I'll probably put her in for like third and fourth, but
I've got her on the third line.
Yeah, I'm not all that. Like I think her last 2 wins have been on rain affected ground, so that would be the knock from me. So I don't know if she can win, especially from that draw, but comes in with no weight. Apparently, he's worked well. Williams is the right man for the job, so she can run a race, but I don't think she can win.
Breakup, the Japanese horse.
I can start here.
Yeah.
This is one of my best roughies. I think he's the horse that can really improve out of the Caulfield Cup. I think he was about 130 odd days between runs into that Caulfield Cup, and it was a really strongly run race. He loomed to go with West Wind Blows, and then he tied on his effort, but then he had interference from outside and in as a beaten horse, which exaggerated that margin. So I think it was a good run, although well beaten, and he can come on lengths from that run, getting to 3,200 metres, which is going to suit him. So he is the biggest improver for me out of the Caulfield Cup. I think he should be shorter in the market, and I do think that he will firm tomorrow. Dry track is ideal. I think he's hard to beat.
Just having a look here, the doubles prices are really good. Really
Great.
good. Very competitive in the cup.
What price is Breakup?
$20.
He'll run well.
Yeah.
He's it's an interesting one because in the Melbourne Cup's entire history, which is now, I want to say like 162 years or something like that, no horse that's been allocated barrier 18 at the barrier draw has won the race. So the history buffs or the statisticians might want to be against him.
I'd prefer to draw 18 than 24. So
well, but you've won more races from 24 than 18. But very elegant. She drew 19. There was a scratching. She came in one. She jumped from barrier 18 the year she won. But in terms of horses that have actually been allocated that at the draw, no horses won. So he's got that against him. But I do agree that he can improve out of the Caulfield Cup. He was 17 weeks between runs going into that race, and now he's the 3 weeks between. It was his first run in Australia. Up to 3,200 metres is a big tick because you look at his Japanese form, the Tenno show that was run, it was the Tenno show spring, but the autumn for us.
Yeah.
He ran really well there, and a horse called Justin Palace won the race. Justin Palace has just run second to Equinox in the Tenno show autumn, and Equinox is the highest rated horse on the planet. So
in the world.
You've got to give him a few points for being able to bring Equinox form into a race like this. I just thought he probably was a little bit plainer than I would have liked to have seen in the Caulfield Cup. I wanted to see a little bit more to be having him in the numbers here.
I think I'm not sure. Obviously, the Japanese are in good form.
Definitely.
Golden Eagle. Was Romantic Warrior Japanese? I know it's from Hong Kong. I think it's a Japanese horse.
No.
Possibly. It's the jockey on Breakup.
Yep.
It didn't ride him last start, did
No,
it?
so Damien Lane rode him in the Caulfield Cup, and this is now Kohei Matsuyama, the Japanese jockey, who I think I've only ridden him twice, so not necessarily a regular rider for him, but maybe rides for the stable a lot in Japan, and they've brought him out here to ride. So
yeah, okay.
I think I forget his name. I don't think it wasn't Yatuka Take that won on Delta Blues, was it in 07?
no, I don't think he's won a race over here. You two Katake.
No, but a Japanese jockey has ridden a Japanese horse.
Would have won the bloody Golden Eagle on Saturday. Imagine the following.
That's right.
Future history, $20.
I can't have
Hollie
this
Doyle.
horse. He was good when he won the Bart Cummings. He was still strong through the line, but he got it all his own way in front. And last start, he drops 6 kilos from that run. He meets a few horses better out of the Moonee Valley Gold Cup, but I just think his best chance is leading and trying to control things, and it's just not going to happen for him. So, not for me.
He'll be going in most things for me because I think that Bart Cummings form is quite good form. He did it all on speed there, and then he went back in that Moonee Valley Cup and he made a long sustained run. And he peaked on his effort. That's probably not the form, but I think that run probably brings him on for a Melbourne Cup. Whether or not he can win, I don't think he can win, but he'll be going in my wider multiples.
Billy Egan on Vow and Declare.
2019 champion, God bless him. This horse is going just as well as what he was when he won the Melbourne Cup. A few people are saying he's going better. I don't think you can say he's going better. I think I might have mentioned on the early betting preview podcast that we did on Thursday that compare his preparation this time into when he won it. He comes out of a Moonee Valley Gold Cup here where he ran second in. Yeah, it was a huge run, but the year that he came into it and won, he ran second in a Caulfield Cup behind Murder Glass. So I think that's better form. He's a genuine top 10 hope.
Okay.
Not in Trifecta's first fours, though, because I just think he's sort of between that 5 and 12. That's kind of his range. He'll run well.
Yeah, I don't think he can win either. He's going well. I think it's his 4th Melbourne Cup. Yep. But yeah, I don't think he can win. The run last up behind Cleveland, although it looked really good to the eye, he covered extra ground without cover, and he was strong on the line. It was only an evenly run race, so he wasn't entitled to do what he did, but it wasn't anything out of the ordinary, in my opinion.
Military Mission.
Military Mission.
Either of you got it?
I don't think he can win.
I've got him in the trifecta. I've got him on the third line. I just think he's going to get a really soft run from Barrier 5, Rachel King.
Best female jockey in Australia.
Yep, happy to say that. She's going in with plenty of confidence after a Coolmore win. And this was sort of similar profile to what Durston took to the Caulfield Cup last year. Won the Newcastle Cup, comes through the Herbert Power at Caulfield last start. So happy to include him in wide exotics.
Interested in this next runner, More Felons. We've spoken about it a couple of times, you and I, Nick. Currently $26. Give it a hope.
Yeah, I'm just dirty that I had a same horse double on him to win the Geelong Cup into him to win the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
And that was $13 into 300 to 1 in the Melbourne Cup. He had closing sectionals that were terrific.
Yeah.
He got beat half a length. He ran 5th.
I thought it was fantastic, yeah.
Ticket kaput, 300 to 1 gone. Nothing on at the 300 to 1. So I will be pulling his tail so hard.
It's nice for the punters listening to this. It's got a ticket on it.
Sorry,
Nick will be cheering against you.
I'm glad he drew barrier 24 because I just think that he's just going to get too far back, but he will stay all day.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about pulling his tail because I don't think he can win. I think he hit the line well at Geelong.
In a bad race.
It was a bad race. He'll run 3,200 metres, but he doesn't have the class to win.
Yeah, he'll run 14th.
Right you are, $34.
Right You Are was a good run in the Caulfield Cup. Was probably the best of the on-paces. He was sent around big odds there. He'll put himself in the race.
Can stay 3,200?
Not sure. That would be a big question mark, but I don't know. I don't think he goes in multiples for me, but his run in the Caulfield Cup was really good.
Yeah, not in multiples for me either, but I wouldn't talk punters out of having him, like if you want to have him in a top 10 bet. I'm not sure what price he is or if we've got a market there, but yeah, like Blake said, he was the best of the on-paces in that Caulfield Cup. The 2 miles are concerned, but he just keeps raising the bar.
Really interested to hear your thoughts here, Nick. Cleveland, 41s.
Yeah, second pick for me, which might surprise a few people and sort of surprised myself as well when I sort of landed that way. But just have to go back 2 years. He was, say 6-8 months before the Melbourne Cup. He was one of the early all-in favourites or pre-noms favourites for the race. It might have been when he was going to be a Northern Hemisphere 3-year-old. He ran second in the race at Vauban 1, different years, but I really like what he did in the autumn. So he ran 4th in the Tancred at Weight for Age behind a Arapaho. You had Montefilia there, so that's best sort of staying form.
Yeah, good for
And
him.
he started $4 in the Sydney Cup over 2 mile. There was no issue post race that the vets found straight after, but stable advised that they found an issue later on in the week, which they've put that poor performance down to. So happy to forgive and say that, ignore that. This prep, he was brilliant first up, and I wanted to back him in Metropolitans and whatnot, and he's just he had no chance in the Newcastle Cup. He got too far back. But then 2 starts to go behind Land Legend in the St. Ledger on Everest Day at Randwick. They ran really good time, a track record. He was terrific. He ran second. He just probably got outstayed late. And then he won the Moonee Valley Gold Cup last start. Great ride by James McDonald. He meets Vow and Declare half a kilo worse. He meets Future History a kilo and a half or 2 kilos worse. So a little bit of a disadvantage there. But I just think there's a real sense of timing with this horse, and we might just see him get to that sort of mark that we thought he was going to be 2 years ago.
A little bit of untapped class there, possibly.
Yeah. I think if there's a blowout, it's him.
I think he's going well, and I hope he runs well. The draw is not ideal for him. The win at Moonee Valley was really good. He sort of got shuffled back, and then he was strong late, but he was given a very good ride by McDonald there. I don't think he can win. Will he be going in my first 4s? Potentially. I think he's a top 8 chance because he'll stay 3,200 metres.
Ash Run, 41s.
Not for me.
No, backed him in the Melbourne Cup 3 years ago. He's only had 3 runs since. He ran 10th there, so I think he'll stay. He'll get a fair way back, I think, from barrier 11, and probably not quite good enough to win, but another sort of top 10 hope.
Serpentine, same price.
Yeah, I can talk about Serpentine.
Yeah, go for it.
I think he's a relatively good roughie. So he was really well supported first up in Sydney behind Athabaskan. Athabaskan's been luckless in that Moonee Valley Cup and then was well supported to win the Hotham on Saturday. And then this bloke, look, he's just firmed in the market. He's just been firm in the market every time. And I do remember a couple of months ago when Just Fine was still in work and Gay was asked who her best Melbourne Cup chance was, and she actually said this bloke. And last start, he was wide without cover, and he didn't shirk his task. That was behind Future History. He's in well at the weights. He draws well. I don't think it would be in his best interest to lead, but if he can, he's going to be right there on the speed. And I do think that he will be somewhere there in the finish, and he goes in wider multiples, 3rd and 4th. I don't think he can win.
It's lumped some weights too, so now it gets 51. Could be a breeze for
Yeah,
old
it comes in
Serpentine.
well at the weights.
Yeah. Calipore, $41.
I can't have him. They just went
Is this the latest entry into the Melbourne Cup? Is
yeah,
that the
so
last one?
he won the Lexus on Saturday to get that final spot.
Right, okay.
Good luck to Dan Huddy and his family that have got shares in him. Know Dan reasonably well, so hope that he can run well for them. But I just think he got all the favours up on speed on Saturday. I think James McDonald missed the boat on Athabaskan, and had he have not, he would have beaten him and he wouldn't be here. So not for me.
If you give Cleveland a hope, surely you got to give this
Well,
bloke
they
a
do
hope because
come out
they
of the
bring very
pretty
similar form.
yeah.
And Newcastle, I think they started very similar prices.
Yeah.
I know this bloke sort of was a few lengths off Cleveland behind Land Legend or whatever its name is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Athabaskan had his chance to get past him. Do I think he can win the race? Probably not. I hope he does because I got a 201 ticket on him. But he'll run well.
Alan Quer, 50s.
I've had something on this bloke at 100 to 1 all in. Unfortunately, he's got a stone bruise, so it needs to be
Was that come out today?
So yesterday they reported that he had a stone bruise, then vetted this morning and still signs of soreness.
This might be a dumb question, but is that just bruising from a stone getting kicked up and hitting the horse? What is it?
It's on their foot, so it can be from a stone.
Yeah.
Like stand on a rock.
So it's
But
like
it's
a
a
bruise
bruise
on
on
the
their foot.
bottom of the foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it has to be re-examined on Cup morning. Listening to Mike Moroney on radio this morning, he's confident that the horse will be right to race. So We haven't seen him at his best European form. He's certainly waited on his European form because he's got 56.5.
Yeah.
Which is going to make it tough for him. But I thought his best run in Australia was last start, where he just coasted through the line without much luck in that Moonee Valley Gold Cup. So I hope he's there because it'll be Damien Oliver's last ever ride in the Melbourne Cup. It'd be great to see him win. Is he going well enough to win? Maybe not. But he's best in Europe. Like, it's elite Group 1 form in Europe.
Okay. Dark Queen Sweet Junior. Big Dick Stackhouse on board, $91.
I think he ran 10th in this race last year.
Did he win an Adelaide Cup?
He won an Adelaide Cup. He actually might have run. He might have even run better than that. Ran 6th in this race last year. Carried 53 there, so he drops 1.5 kilos from last year's 6th. He's an Adelaide Cup winner, like Blake said. Comes out of that Herbert Power behind Military Mission. He's a genuine top 10 chance, I would think, on the basis that
it's a good $91 shot. Top
10 chance because he'll run 3,200.
He'll run a strong 2 mile, but
I don't think he can win. No. Well, definitely cannot win.
Okita Soshi.
Didn't do enough in the Caulfield Cup for mine, so can't win.
Yeah, decimal points in the wrong spot here. This should be a 9,000 to 1
I was waiting
chance.
for this one.
This is the horse that you want in your cup sweep because it'll run last. He was so bad in that Caulfield Cup. I thought it had every chance, tracked into it like it was a winning hope and just showed nothing. And the start before that in Ireland, the Irish St Ledger Trial, 4-horse field, got control and just stopped popped.
If we preview 9,000 races, one day we're going to get the chance to clip up Lloydy saying, this horse should be 9,000 to 1. And I look forward to that day.
Yeah. There's every year, there's got to be a 9,000 to 1 shot.
I'll be having a couple of bucks on this because it's number 22. So I always play the numbers. Interpretation.
Yep. I'll jump in here. Yep. The decimal point is in the wrong place for this horse.
Should be 10 to 1.
Should be 10 to 1.
Oh, here we go.
This horse is the best roughie in the race.
Oh, I had to wait for the juice. I like it.
It's the best horse. This is the horse of the best roughie in the race. He was really well supported, 3 back behind Mostly Cloudy. He was only okay there, but then they put the blinkers on him behind Future History. He drew wide. He went back to near last. He was held up. It was clearly the best run of the race. He got out and he really savaged the line. And then last start, he was again well supported with the blinkers on. And he got the job done. He only got the job done. I think he's best suited in really fast races, which he's going to get here. Stable take the blinkers off him. I'm not sure about that, but I'm not going to question this team. I think he's going really well. The stable have always had a really good opinion of this horse. Okay. When yet to see the best of him. And I think on Tuesday, we can see the best of him. I think he'll run a huge race at 100 to 1. I'm going to back him top 10. I'm going to back him top 5. I think he can win the race, and
Beauty.
I'm going to back him.
I was just thinking about $5, but maybe $10.
Yeah, I like him too. I'm just having a look, and I've stuffed up a bet, and I've somehow left him out of the trifecta because I have got a ticket on him. Severe unders. I think I took 71 after his first up run. But just been ticking over really nicely. I didn't back him on Wednesday in the Bendigo Cup when he won, but I was cheering him because I wanted him to win so he could get into the field. Yeah. And he came in at $17 after he won that race, and I thought, oh, you beauty, I've got 70 to 1. He's into 17s, and now he's that price to run a hole.
Might just be the forgotten horse.
The stable did it with High Emotion 12 months ago too. Won the Bendigo Cup.
Yeah.
6 days later, ran 3rd in the Melbourne Cup. He's probably a better stayer than she is, I reckon. So, yep, I agree. He's got to be thereabouts.
Okay.
And that race was run perfectly for him to back up 6 days later. Like, it's just...
Wasn't, what's the word you used?
Wasn't brutally run.
Wasn't brutally run.
It was just...
Not just brutal.
Nice, just nice.
Brutal-less. Shiraz, $126.
He's not going well enough.
No, if it was 2016, it'd be a hope.
Magical Lagoon. I have not even seen these horses' names, to be honest with you.
I think she's an Irish Oaks winner.
First run in Australia was in the Geelong Cup.
Yeah, well,
no, she had a prep in the autumn as well.
Oh, yes.
But she just hasn't really fired a shot. Her best run was that Geelong Cup run where she went forward. my jockey, Mark Duplessis, on board. Good luck to 2+ because he rides Sir Carter and Mystic Aroma, and now he's got a cup ride. So no doubt it'll highlight next to those.
Oh, it'd be hard. It'd be hard to top those.
Like you win the first ever Sunshine Coast poly track race, or a Melbourne Cup. I know what I'd rather.
Geez, I was way off. She's had 5 runs in Australia. It's just that she's been getting lapped in each of them, so I haven't seen her.
Yeah, just hasn't done anything.
Until Geelong.
They've gone on to the next race on Sky, usually when Magical Lagoon crosses the line.
And we're crossed back for the final 200 for Magical Lagoon.
Virtuous Circle, $126.
This is a horse I can't believe is this price. I've had something on him. He's actually my best result on the race. He was just ticking along really, really nicely in his first 3 runs. This preparation, forget the run behind Pinstriped and Attrition in the Fian. That was over a mile. He was never going to get warm there. Yeah. But then he went to the Naturalism. He finished 9th. And he climbed up their asses and just had nowhere really to go behind Uncle Bryn, Floating Artist. Then he went to the the Bart Cummings, where he finished sort of alongside Interpretation. Restricted room again, really well backed in the Geelong Cup last start, started $5 and was average. So that's why he's 200 to 1, because I think if he had a run up to market expectation there, he's a $26 chance, $34 chance. So 51 kilos, he'll stay. He'd rather the sting out of the track. I don't like him on a good 4, but I'm going to do a rain dance.
His run in the Bart Cummings was really good. He had no luck. And then he was, as you said, disappointing at Geelong. Like, nothing's come out, but definitely based on that SP at Geelong, he's over the odds.
And the final horse in the field, True Marvel.
I don't think he can win, but Lloydy's going to give him a push.
Yeah, I'm not going to give him a huge push, but he's the outsider of the field, and I think that was like $6 around for a top 10.
Yeah.
This is a horse that's had he's had 6 goes at 2 mile, and he's been in the numbers 4 times. So he's proven at the trip. He ran second in the Sydney Cup in the autumn. Was a really good run that day. I remember probably might have even been 2 years ago. There was a 3,000 metre race at Moonee Valley one night, against complete hacks, and it's hard to tie him, but he won it by 16 lengths, so he'll stay the trip. I thought in that Moonee Valley Gold Cup, he got a long way back, and he closed off really nicely. As a 100 to 1 shot there, he drops 5 kilos from that effort. Ben Thompson, another little Queenslander on board, so I think he can only run well without winning, and I'm happy to have something on him at $6 in top 10.
Yeah, beauty. $6 top 10, beautiful.
I think I've got 14 horses running top 10, so
squeeze the last couple in. Could be a couple of dead heats in the
that's right. Yeah, you never know.
Okay, gold trip for you, Nick.
Yep.
Blake, you've got Without a Fight on top. You're liking a couple of roughies with Breakup, Interpretation. Nick, you've got a couple of value. How are you going to bet this year's Cup?
Top 4. I'll give you my top 4. I think I've got 3 on top Without a Fight. I've got 4 Breakup, and then I have the favourite, Vauban, and then I've got number 18 Serp, number 22 Interpretation. So Without a Fight, Breakup, Vauban, Interpretation. I'll make Interpretation a winner for me. I will make Without a Fight and Breakup a winner for me, and then I will play multiples around Without a Fight, Breakup, and Interpretation.
I'm pretty much balls deep gold trip, really. I've got a ticket on Vauban at $41, so he's a winner for me. If I didn't have that ticket, I'd be happily sort of against him and not winning if he won. But I'm numbers 1, 10, 5, and whatever number your horse is, 3. So that's gold trip, Cleveland, Vauban, Without a Fight. I've had the Quinella with those 4 runners and Absurde, so they're probably the top 5.
Yeah.
And then I'm just having a trifecta, which I do it every year. So I put 3 horses in on top, 5 horses in for second, and 11 horses on the third line, and that's $50 for 50%. So that's just something I do every year.
I like that.
So
I'll do it too.
Yeah. So you can sort of throw in a fair few rough results in on that third line, and you never know, you might get it. So I've got horses like Listochka, Military Mission, Interpretation, Virtuous Circle, Breakup. They're those horses there. So, yep, very interesting. Keen Gold Trip.
I think there's a good jackpot in the first 4 as well, so people should have a crack at the first 4.
Bet the first 4.
A standout first 4 in order. Mystery trifectas are great.
Yeah, I think
it's too hard for you.
It's the big day for mystery trifectas.
Yep. And I think 2 punters. If you
I don't even know if
I know, like, well, I used to work at a pub, and like the tab or the TAB terminals on Melbourne Cup Day, they change over. So it is literally, if you just go up and touch the screen and you click mystery trifecta, it'll spit out a ticket for you on the Melbourne Cup. You don't have to worry about filling out a ticket and writing what race, what venue. If you just click that box, it'll give you a Melbourne Cup mystery.
A lot of people
trifecta.
out of events tomorrow that may have an EVT around. It's good to know. I think I've got Absurde on top. I like it. I think it's going to be a nice little bet for me.
Okay.
And I don't mind more felons as well. So we'll see how we go. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, punters. Good luck. Any other parting words of advice on Melbourne Cup?
Fill up early, because pounding in race 2 at Flemington is the best bet on the program. He'll be winning. This is the easiest race he's been in for a while, so you'll get.
You got one, Blake? He scored.
I don't have one yet. I haven't had a chance to do the form. I've been at the Golden Eagle, and I've just got stuck into the Melbourne Cup. But I would say just back Without a Fight, back Breakup, and then Interpretation, win, top 10, top 5. It's $12 for the top 5. I think you'll sneak into the top 5.
That's nice. Okay, punters, thank you very much. That is our Melbourne Cup preview this year. Enjoy Cup Day. Gamble responsibly. And if you are going to have a punt, do it through Dabble.
Let's
Cheers,
get 'em.
guys.